It's not messed up. I just have it muted. We don't start for another minute or two. I'm just getting my nerves all situated and all that wonderful stuff. I know I'm streaming though right now, so I'm just letting everybody see the wonderfulness of my paint palette and how awesome it looks. Yeah, I know you're supposed to be coming to the stream here, cause Tim wants you to come to the stream here. Don't you remember? Don't you remember? Oh yeah, I know, I know. I just unmuted it so I could talk to you. Yeah, yeah. See how it is. I see how it is. You don't trust me. I figured it has. I need to grab a color I thought I had out. Where are you at? I swear I had it out earlier. There it is. Alright. Alright. Bum bum. We'll start here in 2 minutes. I've got all my stuff set up on my computer over there. Got my Linux box right here, so I can mod everything. Ooh. Yeah, that's what I do, man. That's how I rock and roll. Got my hair going everywhere. I almost shaved my head today. Go back to chat. There it is. I got my package delivered today. My first edition Unearthed Arcana. So you should be like, wow, Daniel, that's something special. All right. Less than a minute. Less than a minute. Less than a minute. Crack in the back. Crack in the back. Crack in the back. Boom, 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 boom. Sorry, I was getting ready to start saying 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5, gonna paint those minis tonight. Gonna work all night, gonna paint it out. Oh, sorry guys. All right. Let's say hi. Let's say hi. We got what's this hive mind and thoracic. All right, it's time to start. Yeah. Let me know if there's any problems, guys. Tonight we do not have a hobby pack. We are painting. We're painting flesh. Let me show you what we're working on. It's right here. This is a bunch of orcs. We are going to be painting orcs in honor of the comment that Stephen Chenault said the other day. In a, do you remember this comment? Yeah, I said orcs are a unredeemable race. So we're gonna go with that because I believe that. Yeah, now I do kind of have a hobby hack, a little bit of a hobby hack. Okay, so you guys see me use paint handles all the time. Like this is the Citadel paint handle, which is cool, cool. Yeah, I got one from Game Envy, which is actually my favorite at the moment. And I hit the camera again, which is this guy right here. Let's see here. There it is. So this is the Game Envy handle. All right. Pretty much use bottle caps. You can. Okay. So now I used to try to find everything. I used Chessex boxes at one point. I think I found the perfect shape for a perfect handle. So I drink protein shakes every day. I have 30 grams of protein shake every day. And so this right here is a protein bottle for the Fairlife protein, which is the type of protein I drink. So if you look at it, it can hold to my hand very comfortably. Okay, it's large, and here's the thing though. Remember that material I was working with the other day, the dental stone? I put about that much dental stone in the bottom of it, so it's bottom heavy, so I can't knock it over. All I gotta do is put a little bit of poster tack right there. If I get the poster tack stick, and I have a miniature holder that's gonna be comfortable. That won't cramp my hand. I think we found something here. Let's get the poster tack on. All right, let me see which miniature. We'll start with this one right here. So since I already did his face on another guy, so we're painting some orcs today, some iron jaws, and so the person I'm painting these for said I don't want green orcs. I want red orcs. And I got a face already painted up. Now, the face is painted. Nothing else is painted outside of just testing, playing around with some stuff. So, let's see here. Let me make sure we got it in view. So this right here is going to be a red orc. You see that wonderful face? See how beautiful it looks? You're like, but Daniel, how can you paint faces like that in red? Very simply, and I'm going to show you guys how to paint faces in red. Now, it's not just that. It can work for anything. You notice, though, if you look at his underarm right here, you might notice something. That's regular flesh tones. How dare I? All right, anyway. So what we're going to do is we are going to paint an orc. Need some yeller. I'm going to find some yeller. Oh, I know where that yellow is. Sorry, I need my. There's a certain yellow I'm looking for. There she is. Okay, this is the because this is the one coat yellow from Watercolors. The only reason why I wanted it is because I'm going to use it for the eyes. This orc. So I like orcs, but I don't like painting orcs green, straight green. I believe that we need to paint them flesh tones and then tone them down to a different color. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So we're going to try to knock out all the flesh to all these orcs. Let me adjust my camera here because I've got my setup's a little bit different than normal. So, all right, so let's do this here. So I'm getting used to a new setup. So we're going to knock out a bunch of orcs tonight. There. I'm going to paint right here. We're going to start with these eyes. So we're going to paint a little bit of yellow right here in his eyeballs. I like painting orc eyes yellow. Because it means it's not a... Ooh, is he missing an eye? Yeah, that guy's missing an eye. Sweet. Alright. Hello, George. Okay, that guy don't need any flesh. Well, he will need flesh. I'm doing eyes. So this is the thing about batch painting. What you do, if you ever want to get into commission painting and start, or batch painting armies or things like that, you start with one color. You put that color on every model that you need to put it on. And you keep going from there until you're done with that. And then you get to the next color. So, if you know anything about the iron jaws, normally they're painted yellow. Well, this guy wants them painted in black. He wants them to look different. That's cool. It's cool. I enjoy painting 40K models, and these aren't 40K, these are Age of Sigmar. And we got these guys riding these boars right here. Big honking models right here. So... And I primed these guys in gray instead of black. So, okay, actually, let me tell you how I primed these models. Just to let y'all know what's going on here. So, I decided we're going to shoot the primer through the airbrush. So, all the non-bore riding models were shot through the airbrush using the Vallejo primer that I have. And I let that dry And today, before the show, I wanted to play around and see what I could do with contrast paints through the airbrush. So I shot contrast paints to the airbrush, and what that tells me is contrast paints work great as airbrush paints. You don't get the contrast paint effects through it, but you still let's see here. Yeah, you still get the good coverage. Yeah, good coverage. It's thin. You don't have to really thin it down. Good coverage, and when it dries, it doesn't get rid of any detail. Okay, so we're gonna start here. You know, I always use a triad of colors. So we're gonna start. Tan flesh is our darkest, so we're gonna put it right here. A little bit of tan flesh. And then we're gonna take a little bit of barbarian flesh right next door to it. They're neighbors, happy little neighbors, happy little neighbors. And just to let y'all know, I'm hyped up on ice cream right now. So who puts M&Ms in a freezer? Weirdo. Okay, and then elven flesh. Sorry, you can't understand what I'm saying because I got paintbrush in my mouth. Okay, so let's make sure we're in camera view. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with this color here, and we're going to start in at the neck. And anything that would be considered flesh on this guy is going to get painted. This color. So right, you probably can't see where I'm at right now. It's just his neck. My hand's shaking a little bit because I'm hyped up on Sonic ice cream. Okay, now I've got to get to a part right here, but I've got to move my thing out of view real quick so I can get to it. It's just one of those areas that you're just like, what the crap? This is in the way, and I can't get to it. It's that one little patch of skin. And the black will get cleaned up later, and the flesh tone will. It's going to go on, and we're going to see black through it. It's fine because we're going to have to do multiple coats of it. So. We put the dark stuff on first. I'm sorry if this is fairly dark. I've moved some lights around, so I'm still getting used to everything. And I noticed I got a hair, and what this is where I scraped plastic. So a little hair of scraped plastic. So Bake, how are you doing today? Okay, that's cool. Nice. Yeah, that obliterator model's changed throughout the ages. I remember when it just looked, you're like, what is this monstrosity? Yeah, I remember they were the size of a standard Marine back in the day. I know. Well, I mean, for what it is and what it does, I mean, anyway. Uh, come on. Yeah. Hey, at least the paint's going on. It goes over that contrast really well. That's one of the reasons why I shot that contrast in there. Uh, yeah, it goes on a lot better than a bad and black. I'll tell you that. I mean, I gotta move this side camera. Get to it. So we're making a mess here. That's fire. Oh, that's good. I'm glad. I know you're excited about that. If you ever come to GaryCon, we'll get you introduced to Mark Miller. Chuck don't know Mark. Yeah, I know. But the way I see, I got a little bit of that color in the eyeball socket. Great day. What am I doing? So actually, I got the man to introduce you to Mark. That would be Mr. Derek White. If he pops in here, it's a geek preacher. Like the last GaryCon, they connected, talked a bit. So yeah, Mark's a Christian. Okay, that just went right back into the eye. Just flowed right in there. I'll have to fix it. Okay, got too much water in my paintbrush. I got too much paint in my mouth. This is not to dry. Okay, now I can see how this using this paint handle would be great when I'm not streaming. Okay, but when I'm streaming, it kind of gets in the way. Ugh. Yeah, I've got my Castles of Crusade game is going to start at the end of the month. And then I've got a Dungeon Crawl Classics game I'm setting up, just a one shot. So I could be like, look, here's Dungeon Crawl Classics. It's amazing. You can play it with your kids. Okay, I'm going to do this with my hands. Yeah. So how's everything going, Ultra Magnus? Oh, I have a Discord for the paint group. There's a certain way to get access to it. It's when you're supposed to share the link. Yep. Let's see here. Alright. Look, there is my Patreon. And what's Patreon? What do I use it for? Mainly to stay in supplies. I don't make a dime from it. It's just to keep me in miniatures and keep me in paints. So you all can get to see cool things and stuff like that. And, you know, what does it get you though? At level 1, it's $3. Gets you access to the Discord server, and where you can chit chat live on stream with me and Bake and anybody else that's in here. It also gets you. That's pretty much it. Oh, now fifth level, the $5 level, which is the second tier, gets you access to any recipes that I come up with early, So you can make it along with me if you like to do that. And then the $30 level gets you access to an hour of my time a month to help you with your modeling, or if you just want me to paint something, I'll paint a miniature a month for you while you're at the $30 level. You just got to send it to me and I'll send it back once I'm done. And heck, I might even paint it on air. I know I haven't. Sorry, man. It's just been a crazy week at work, and this is nuts. I'll probably be on there a little bit later this week. I've just been keeping my trap shut. Too much going on in the world today, and I'm too wired. Okay, we're gonna let this dry here. So this is our first coat. Here's the only thing I don't like about these orcs. I really wish they had armor all over. Instead of I have to get this one little crevice of flesh. So it's fair though. Alright, so let's see here. Here's another one. Same face, same model stance. I did post my YouTube channel in the stream section. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I haven't had 1,000 subscribers on YouTube ever, and I don't post a lot of videos. But boy, they make a lot of money off my videos. And I'd like at least a little cut of it. Just that one video in particular. Why 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons sucks. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. So I think I came up with a new way to keep my model on screen. Hey, a hair. That's just to keep it in this hand here and not move it. I think I need to switch brushes though. This one's been a bit flimsy on me. Hmm. I just noticed I missed a piece of flesh on the other one. It's right here. And it's fine that I'm getting this on the black, because I'll always go back and tidy it up. The thing is that I wanted to at least get the base of the black down, and that's the point. Is you get the base of the black down, you can go back and tidy it up, and it's a lot quicker. And I didn't have to spend hours painting by hand all that black in. That's why I shot it all with the airbrush at once. I cleaned my airbrush. It's working a little bit better compared to last. Yeah. Now, so what's going to happen is when I do that red wash all over this, I'm going to get the red wash in the eyes, and it's going to kind of make the eyes look orange, but it's still going to leave a bit of yellow in the center, and it's going to make it kind of pop, almost like it's glowing. Well, I mean, that's the effect I want it to go for, but we'll see. And it's good to do thin coats, especially like this, because even if it's looking the way this is looking all watery and stuff, because the next coat will be a little bit more opaque. We're just building up that saturation. I had my flu shot last week. It's Friday night of last week. No, not Friday night. No, it's just, come on now. Hey, squirrels! I am using an Element Games Regiment brush. Let me show you this brush real quick. So it comes in a 3-pack. This is the larger one. Let's see here. The tips on there. So this is the Element Games Kolinsky Sable brush. You can get this set for, in the U.S., probably about $30 shipped from Element Games, because it's £17 in the UK. Plus you gotta pay for shipping and VAT and all that other crap. So this brush, look at this tip. I don't see if you can see how sharp that tip is. This brush is probably about 4 years old now, and it's my most used brush. This one would be close to what you would consider a 1. This is let me get the other ones out. Let's see where we at. Okay. This would be close to a 1. As far as diameter goes. I've got one that's a little, well, actually, it's probably more of a 2. I should be using this one. This is probably closer to a 1 here. And this is the character brush. And then the next one down would probably be closer to the 0. And this is a detail brush. There. Now, these brushes here, I've had them for almost 4 years now. The key is just to keep them clean. Yep, that's it. And if you're not, like, if you're painting just a little bit at a time, it's great. I use it mainly for a lot of, like, if I had a smaller, cheaper brush, I'd be using it right now. But this is when I get to the next level of the painting, I usually switch over to these brushes. I also have let's see here. Another one I like to use is if I need this brush, I'll get it out. This is the Psycho from Army Painter. Tip's not that great on it. It's Kolinsky Sable, but, like, it's not that great. Now, I will show you a brush I do have that the tip is awesome on. Let's see here. Where's it at? Here you go. It's finer than that one. Let's see if you could see that. I don't know if you could see that out. Right there. This is a Reaper 30-0. It's the finest one they make, or made. I don't know if they still make it. This brush, I've had this now for, oh gosh, 17 years. So just taking care of them brushes. That's what you do. The now if you have a Michaels, okay, so you can get a Winsor Newton at Michaels. Now this is the only Winsor Newton that I own right here. This was a number 1 Kolinsky Sable, Series 7. And what happened was the hairs just started falling out of it. I mean, this is probably like a $15 brush, and the hairs just started falling out of it. It was a gift from a friend of mine, and it was kind of upsetting. I really liked it. I got it about the same time I got the Element Games ones, and it was going pretty good, and then the hairs just started coming out. So But no, Winsor Newton makes an artificial hair brush that, and you always want to go with watercolor brushes when you're doing acrylics like this. You do not want to go with their actual miniature brushes because they're too short. You want to get, they got a brand of Winsor Newtons called the Cotman, Cotman. They usually run about $5 a pop, and they're acrylic, they're synthetics, but they're actually pretty good. Now, if you're using synthetics and you're doing commission painting, the key is you've got to change your brushes out between each commission. Like get a new set of brushes. When I started doing commission painting, that's what I would do. And there's lots of things I would do when I was commission painting all the time. One of them was you see this paper here that I use as my palette. I would actually keep that palette. Um, like I'd use a new palette sheet for each commission, and so I could see the colors that I used in case I had to repaint anything. Um, I wouldn't keep it for a long time, but just for a period once I knew that they were happy with everything. So put some more of this tanned flesh down here. Almost out. All right. Put you there. Let's move you here. Let's see here. I'm making a line of the ones I've already done. Okay. Yeah, I still use this. That's all this paper is parchment paper. It's just cut to fit this tray. Is all. This is the Army Painter wet palette. I like it because it has a place to store my brushes at. Let's see here. This fella. I like this guy. He's playing a drum. Let's see here. Let's see his neck. Bit light color there. Again, this is the whole premise of why you do the far away color. I mean, the to me, I call them the far away, but the deepest colors first, so you can get your brush up in there, get those colors, um, and then you come out like you do the. I call it the valleys. Sometimes you do the valleys first. See, Bake's being really quiet. Uh huh. He don't want to talk to me tonight. He's mad. There. I am going to use flesh for the drum skin because they made it out of human skin or elf skin, aka the Aldari. Mm. Let's wet this up a little bit. Maybe it's a little too wet. I was learning a good technique on hair today. I might show y'all once I master it. Ugh. Yeah, putting these things together, I'll tell you what, if I ever start really doing commission again, like this is for a friend. If I ever really get back into commission painting, I'm gonna charge people for putting models together. I mean, well, I know, and I mean, like for Citadel models, I mean, I'm gonna have to charge at least $5 a model. Um, Now for cleanup on something like a Reaper model or something like that, I only charge like $2 because it's just scraping. But this stuff right here, man, I spend a little bit of time putting my models together, and the reason being is I want to make sure they're put together right because I know how the paint is going to act on them, like with seams and things like that. And a lot of people just slap them together. I don't use super glue unless I have to. Like I use the cement, so like if you ever drop it, it's one piece. It's not going to fall apart on you. So I mean, it's just the way I am. Okay. Gosh, I feel weird. I feel like I got a fever, but I don't. It's that Rona. I need to go test it for the Rona. So my puppy, my baby dog, she actually went to the vet today. She got fixed. No, she got spayed. She's scared. She was shaking when she knows what the vet is. This is the place she goes to get shots at. And she don't like it when we go there. So she's sitting on my lap and shaking like a dang leaf. Oh, I'll go get her tomorrow after I get off work. It's gonna cost me like $300. Well, it's because I had other things done to her too. So had of course they have the dog flu shot now. Um, that's a thing because supposedly dogs can give humans the flu. No, I'd strangle that cat. I don't like I don't like cats. But I know people that don't like dogs, so it's fair. I would never hurt a cat. I mean, if I had to put one out of its misery, I wouldn't say no. But you also got to realize I grew up in the South where we did things like that when an animal was suffering. So it's not like nobody's got to call PETA on me. That's all I'm saying. Cats are the devil, though. Dogs are the best. Yeah, I know this looks like a hot mess as I do this. All right, this guy right here, I like him. He's pretty cool looking. Got some ideas for him. No, man, that's just like some sort of weapon. He's like clubs. Beats them with the. They got faces on them. Part of me kind of wishes I did some of these faces before I glued them on. If I could learn this hair technique that I was learning today, if I could, dude, it would change the way I paint models. I mean, this the way it was explained to me, and I saw it. I was like, why have I not been painting models this way? Well, the way they were painting the hair. Like instead of, you know how like you normally paint it the color you want it and then you wash it to darken it down and then you probably dry brush. Yeah, no, no, nope, nope. You don't even have to wash this stuff, man. Yeah, I gotta find a good model though to show y'all how to do it. Should have painted that mouth first. See, I can't get that back in there. His guy's covered in fleshes. He's got muscles everywhere. Muscle, muscle man. I'm gonna kill a muscle man. So my first 40K army was orcs. Yeah, man. It's back when they had an axe in one hand and a bolter in the other. And they had the horn helmets on. They had one pose. And that's when the starter set came with the Orc Dreadnought. Well, you heard what I said. It came with the Orc Dreadnought. Do you know what the Orc Dreadnought looked like? It was literally a card with the picture of an Orc Dreadnought on it. Yeah, dude, it was amazing. I mean, you didn't get that with the Marines, though. You didn't even get it like a card. uh, you're gonna get us. You're gonna get us kicked off of Twitch, man. You know them kids. They don't like hearing words like that. Those little precious gamers don't say words like that. So, have you been reading your Egyptian? So, this is what you need to do. All right, I need you to do something. So, there's talk. Stephen Chenault, right? And I need every one of you guys to do this. So, Stephen Chenault said that we need all new art in the eighth printing of the player's handbook. You need to message Steven. You need to message Tim and say, listen, I want a picture of Daniel and Derek as clerics. Okay? So, he didn't shoot nothing down. Just because I'm trying to get me and Derek in there as clerics. Because, you know, we're both clergy. And, yeah, I talk like I'm clergy. Anyway, and I just think it'd be cool, you know, like to be in a book because that'd probably be the greatest thing I ever achieved in my entire life. And that's when my wife's like, "You have 3 kids." I'm like, "Yeah, still." Yep, that's the achievement unlocked. Anyway, but y'all need to send Tim a message. And send Stephen Chenault the message. Saying, listen, out of all the artwork, we need Daniel and Derek. And this is the pose I want. No, 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 Ultra Magnus. What I'm wanting is me and Derek back to back with holy symbols fending off the undead together. That's what I want. And then when we're at GaryCon next year, I could sign it for everybody. Okay, let's do his feet. Now, you notice right here, check out the basing I did. Y'all like that? What do y'all think about that basing? Well, I'll shave if they guarantee me in, or I'll shave all this off and leave just the mustache, and so will Derek. I can't really guarantee Derek. Derek's got a goatee. So the basing here is the rock that I got off the roofing tiles mixed with sand. That's all it is. Like I cleaned my gutters and pulled the rock that fell off my roofing tiles out of my gutters and cleaned all the dirt out of it and mixed it with sand and glued it to the base. That's it. And like it's this right here. Keep it in this. I keep saying that's pretty much all the basing material I use. That's what that is. The little stones on roofing tiles. No, I used super glue. I just coated the entire base in a thin coat of super glue and just stuck it down in the mix and pulled it right back out. Um, ah, well, that's good. It didn't land in anything. Um, but my buddy Luke over at Luke's APS, he's got a basing glue he sells now. So I'm thinking about building a new static grass machine, and I was talking to him about it the other day, and he's giving me pointers on what I should do to do it. So if I build a static grass machine, I'll do it here, and that's going to be one whole show, and I'll make a parts list for everybody, so y'all know how to build this. Right now, I'm looking at it costing about $40 unless I can get the one of the parts a lot cheaper than what it is. So, which I think I found a good place to source it from. But the only problem is all the soldering I'm gonna have to do. I really don't want to bust my soldering iron out on my carpet over here because I usually keep that in my workshop in the garage. Okay, so that's the first coat on this guy here. Let me fix this. I'm not going to do the pig riders tonight. Let's go through here and get all these other extra coats on the stuff that's already dried. So this will go a little bit faster. I'm not wearing camo pants today, so I can't use my shorts to clean my brush. I'm wearing khaki. It's like, great. Didn't think the day through. My wife's like, I never knew white was in camo. Okay. Should be good. Alright. Making a new line. So, my city, oh my gosh, I'm so pissed right now. They are actively fighting the homeless in our area. What all have I told y'all about this? So like they're okay. So right now, I think I've mentioned that they're giving people tickets for sleeping outside, and they're also giving people tickets when they cross the street, going to the one of the local food kitchens that they don't want them at anymore. They want to close this food kitchen down. Um, so like there's really no place to cross. I mean, there's a crosswalk a little bit down from there, but you get less than 10 seconds to cross the street, and some of these guys can barely walk. And so like the they cross in other places where the traffic's not as bad, but they get tickets for it, and the cops just sit there. And so like the funny thing is the cops are not arresting them, but I know the theory behind it. What they're doing is spray glue would suck. I'm gonna tell you, it sucks. Um, but they sit there and do that, and the actual highway patrolman pulled up last week and brought them pizza and water. Not the cops, the homeless people in front of the cops, just to make fun of the cops. But I found out, so there's a coalition of other churches in the area that have kind of gotten together and gotten money raised to start a shelter for them. Well, every time they find a building and they try to get it zoned for this, the city shuts them down. Like, well, here's the thing: the even one of our aldermen. Oh my gosh, this is what makes me mad. He took and they found a building, right? Turned around and the alderman bought the building. Yeah, I mean, and he got it zoned for apartments. Is that not crap? It pisses me off. I mean, and the reason being is for a period of time, one of my brothers was homeless, and so was my uncle. And so, I know what it's like to have family that's homeless, and I've never been homeless, thank God, but like, it just bothers me. Well, because our city's going through what's called gentrification, and there, I mean, the reason why we have homeless is because they closed down the projects in that area, and they thought, oh, we're going to close this down, and these people are going to move. Well, I mean, if you ain't got a car to move and a job to save up money to move, you're not going to move. So, it pisses me off. I'll sit and talk about it for hours, though. So that's one of the things I need to talk to my head pastor about. We're getting ready to have a meeting about some things, and I'm just like, what can we do to help? Because technically, our church isn't in our city; it's in another city, but literally the city lines touch each other. It's not like there's county in between us. So, I mean, like, you could spit from one city to the other. And we're on state line, so like we're in Virginia, our church is versus uh, my city's in Tennessee, so just frustrating. This is what frustrates me getting have to do all these second coats. Hopefully, we'll get here to a point where I'll be able to finish a face out. What's my time? Oh, anyway, we're doing good. Wait, oh, we're doing a drawing today? What? Is everybody like going to be like coming in here like they did last time? Because you noticed last time, like everybody showed up just for the dang drawing. Well, I'll tell you this though, I played in one of Steven's games. It was pretty cool. Oh yeah, we're growing, we're growing. This is when everybody needs to go visit my Patreon. Alright, and people just let you know what I'm doing. This looks like a hot mess because it is. I am working on this we're building up colors to do these flesh tones for these orcs here. So it's going to look messy until we're done. So let's do it about 9:10. I didn't know I got to be one of the lucky ones to have a drawing on my show. I'm gonna no. We painted last week. We were off. I was off for Norse last week. So, so do I get to be in the drawing? I like playing with Steven. I get to be in his Gary Con game. How about we just have a drawing for people to be in my game? How's that sound? I mean, yeah, my game's awesome. I asked Chuck if he wanted me to do some stuff to show people how to use fantasy grounds. He's like, no. I'm like, come on, man, I sell product. Look at that. Look at that horrible brush. Look how it's. Just kidding. I ain't even painting with red yet. It's flesh. Red's horrible, man. I don't know. That's one of those. Oh man, I could go without gold. I'm gonna go and try to get some of those Vallejo metallics. The airbrush ones that look like chrome. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the my local store doesn't carry it, so I have to order it, and I'm gonna make sure I get the right stuff. But I'm not gonna shoot it. I'm gonna actually use it as a brush on because it's supposed to work. Okay. Wicket, wicket. Hello. Let's see here. It's a public audio. Yeah, 420. I was supposed to say 420. 42 data squirrels. Yeah, I do have a Discord channel, and it's part of Patreon. It's $3 to get in a month, and you can sit in here and chat with us. So you can do it this way and ask questions and stuff. Patreon levels are this: $3 to get access to that. $5 you get that plus access to the recipes a week ahead of time in case I've got a new recipe coming out. And then $30 I paint one of your miniatures a month, or I give you an hour of undivided attention to help you paint better. So it's not too bad. It's just to help me keep supplies for the show. I've got a day job. I don't need to. I'm not going to retire from my day job for like another 20 years. I'm not trying to make a dime like that. It's just to keep me from having to spend money to do this show. Oh look, and wait a minute. I thought somebody posted the link to the Patreon in the chat window. After I was so excited, I was like, look, somebody got on there right. Somebody's gonna get lashes after this. Still ain't even posted it. What am I paying you for? What's Chuck doing? No, he ain't here. Chuck don't want to come in here. He's in my Patreon too. Well, he's not my Patreon. I just gave him access to the channel because he. What? I'm gonna hit raffle, and if I win, oh man. Oh look. Wait, what's the 17th? What day is that? That's uh Thursday night. 5 o'clock? Nope. I think my wife might get mad at me on that one. You're going to be off. You ain't going to be painting. It's the evening. We got to sit around the house and swim in the pool. That's my wife's voice. But that's not what she really sounds like. I can't really do her voice. It's hard when you're dating a supermodel. Hey man, I love my wife. So listen, like greatest thing about having kids is like you can make comments and like the little ones it just goes over their heads, but the teenagers are like, ugh! Nope, 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 nope. So one of the things I want to buy. Um, so I used to have a laser jet at the house, but it was black and white. Um, and I loved it because we were printing out a lot of paperwork for church and things like that. Well, one day, my at the time my second child, he was 2, shoved a cookie in it. Well, we pulled the cookie out, but there was a few crumbs and ants got in there. So me personally, I would blow the ants out with an air compressor. My wife takes and goes at the whole thing with a can of ant killer and kills the printer. I still haven't forgiven her for that, and it's been almost 8 years. But so printers are my thing. So from 3D printers to regular printers, stuff like that. So like I used to fix them. Uh, I have a Canon Pixma printer right now. And so what you do is when you buy the printer itself, $59 for this printer. If you buy new cartridges for this printer, you're going to spend more money on the new cartridges than you are going to spend for the printer with cartridges in it. So I buy the printer, run the ink out, open the cartridges up, rip the sponges out, glue the tops back down, and just keep filling them full of ink. That's what I do. My kids don't like that because you can't ever get ink that's as rich as the manufacturer's cut ink. But like the kids are like, Dad, this sucks. I was like, well, it's for homework and things like that, not for photos. So stop trying to print out pictures of your girlfriend. So okay, I think we're good for that coat. Now, what we're going to do next is go with the next color right here. We're going to blend it into this. Get a mid-tone. Now we're going to start doing highlights. So some of these will just be muscles getting highlighted. So like the bulges right here are going to get highlighted some. And I can see them fairly well. Y'all might have some issues seeing them. So I'll just talk y'all through this. So you hit the tops of the muscles. You don't hit the bottoms of the muscles. You try to hit the flat areas the best you can. So what you're kind of doing is you've kind of got a glaze going on here, and so you're just highlighting that one area. And I've told y'all in the past that once you do this, you're going to come back in with that wash, and that wash is going to blend everything together. So let's go through these real quick. This will be fairly quick knocking this stuff out. Because you don't spend too much. I mean, you do, but I mean, you're building it up. Can you see that bake on the camera? What's Chuck doing now? Oh my gosh. Are you posting it everywhere? Well, at least Drew's not in here. What's the raffle command? Is it still? Oh, I still don't think Drew's uses keeping. By the way, okay, now we've got a face. Let's do the face here in a second. Get the muscles, flat areas. Try to avoid the edges as well. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do with the face. Let me see if we can see it. Let's let it get into focus. There we go. Okay, so we're going to come in here and we're going to do underneath the eye socket. We're going to do the upper lip, the most of the nose. And we're going to do this lip part right here. We're going to skip this groove and then come down here to the bottom and hit the bottom of the chin. You'll see this better when we do it on a larger figure. And it's going to dry and go into the crevices. So what I mean by larger is like a whole face versus a partial face covered with a mask. Wait. What is it? Tess, what are you doing? See, he got quiet because he's yelling at Chuck. Yeah, but can moderators apply to be in the raffle? That's the next question. Oh, look at that vein. I'm gonna have to figure out how to paint that vein. He's got a vein in his arm. Here comes Drummer Boy. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna hurrah rubba bam bam. Man, people are gonna quit listening to us, man. They'll be like, "This isn't John Boy and Billy." Okay. Actually, it's not. No. Why is it not pulling? All right, hold on. Ah, we're gonna fix this. Everybody's like, "Why can't we hear Bake?"
Oh, there it goes. You may want to turn me down a little bit. It's kind of redlining.
Oh yeah, I started too because you're redlining with me. All right, is the raffle up?
No, raffle is not up yet. We were just finished our testing. Rest assured, though, probably about another 20 minutes we're gonna do it.
Okay. So let's see here. We're gonna come in here to these muscles. I got my finger right on that. Really? Didn't blend very well. Okay. See, now he gets quiet, everybody.
I had to take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm. Where I got that guy? Let's see if I got this guy yet. Nope.
So is that like a lighter red? You're going over the muscles,
It's
like a highlight?
it's a lighter flesh tone. It's not red.
Sorry.
This is barbarian flesh from Army Painter.
Ah.
Then I will take the Citadel's Crimson whatever. It's right in here somewhere. This stuff right here. And I will apply it and give it some color. Man, I might take some Tylenol on that. I got a bit of a headache. Oh, my wife's yelling at my son. Probably caught him on video games. I tell him, man, he makes his own bed. Listen, guys, just for you all, I will not sign up for this game because I know, I'll be the one that wins it. Ultra Magnus miniatures. I'm getting the Commander set, the Citadel starter set for the 40K. I'm really interested in those box on the that the Space Marines have, and I'm really into the Necrons right now. I got a whole box of them over here to paint as well. The uh, I'm really excited about it because I've never painted Necrons before. As far as 3D stuff, you know, I don't really keep track of like Kickstarters and things like that. I'd really, I've kind of gotten away from printing terrain, 3D printing terrain, because it takes forever just to print one piece, and it almost seems like the time versus the amount of money you spend in it and all that stuff. It's not really there at the moment. I mean, there's nothing that really just makes me excited for it. You know what I mean? I think that if some of the manufacturers had a little bit better instructions on, like, for instance, like, uh, and this isn't a slide on Fat Dragon. I mean, because this is a new industry, so a lot of people don't understand these things. But like, for instance, I bought the file from Fat Dragon to print out the GM screen of Doom or whatever, and I started printing it out. But it doesn't tell you how many pieces of what you need to print because it's modular. But I just want the basic setup, and I would like to know exactly what I need to print and things like that. And because I don't have time just to sit around and screw up and waste filament and things like that. So I really kind of wish these guys would give us a little bit more of an explanation of what we need to do and what we need to print and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't really keep an eye on stuff. I think the last 3D file that I've got excited about was from a company called Printable Scenery. It was about a year ago, and they had these really cool pirate ships and stuff. So, I am going to be painting some 3D stuff on the show soon because I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. I mean, I know I need to because it is part of my hobbies and what I do, and it's now becoming a lot of part of the miniature hobbies. Now look, now watch on his face. Now, so if you see that coloring like I just did on his chin, you're like, man, that's really bright, and it is, but it's not going to stand out once we wash it down. Remember, it's all about taking it up to an 11 and turning it back down. So, and we do the jaw lines here, do the jawline over here. Then we'll come in here and we're going to do the ears right here like this. We're going to bring the whole line down because there is a ridge line. like this here. And then we're going to come in on the nose. And this color will get most of the nose. And then the last color just gets the tip of the nose. And then we're going to do the most of the upper lip with this color. So last Gary Con, oh my gosh. And I know I tell a lot of these stories because these are like some of the stories I figured you all would be most interested in hearing. I was running the paint thing and paint and take, and I was running a contest as well, and I said, painting contest. If you want to keep your miniature here, you can possibly win this set of paints if you do a good job. And of course, I had a lot of people apply for that, which is cool. But like this one guy painted a really good miniature. I was like, oh, that's really good. Is this your first time painting? And he's like, no. I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm Joe Manganiello's miniature painter.
I don't know who that is, but if you got your own personal painter,
Joe Manganiello is the guy. He's the new face of Fifth Edition. He's an actor and stuff, and he played in Magic Mike. Um, he's going to be Deathstroke in the new next Batman that needs Deathstroke and all this other stuff. So, but so when it came to be judging these things, I pulled his aside. I was like, "Don't look at that one." I feel kind of bad about it, but I sort of don't feel bad about it. So,
that's like all the people on Reddit, like, oh, this is my first time. Like, okay, I guess there's maybe people who paint other mediums, but oh, it's my first time painting a mini and it looks like professional. This is like, you know what? Get out of here.
yeah,
But I'm not a good painter. Uh, but you know what? I like them, and my army is made to be dirty and filthy, so I don't mind at all. I love what I've painted.
yeah, that's fine as long as you're
I
happy
don't.
with what you paint,
Yeah,
man.
I don't care what anybody else thinks.
But no, I was so mad, and so like, it's so funny because when I had Mikey Gygax come and look at the miniatures. The first question out of his mouth was, "Which one are kids?"
Yeah.
And he picked a kid. It was
Let's see
great.
those blocky, unthinned, sloppy
Actually,
paints.
no, I had a kid that was like that painted a pretty decent model. He won the
Right
main
on.
main contest, and then a
That's
college
cool.
kid won the second prize. So that is good though. I mean, Army Painter's been really good to me as far as like going to shows and stuff like that, and providing me with materials and things. Headache City. So this is the Ask Me Anything with Daniel Chenault. Not really my last name, but you can ask me anything about Castles and Crusades, and I'll make up an answer. Go. This is really when you're supposed to ask these questions, guys. And this is when Steven comes back and watches it. He played as yeah, he played as no, that wasn't Joe Manganiello. He's playing Slade. Is he? No, that was some other dude. Anyway, come on, ask me some Castles and Crusades questions, and I'll tell you the wrong answers.
is the base number of a save if you're prime in an attribute? There you go.
11? Is that right? I can't remember off the top of my head. Well, hold on. Let's figure this out. Let's see here.
As much work as I've done in CNC, you think I know this?
I can't remember. There you go. Okay, so wait. Question: Is the base? How much damage does two-handed sword do against a larger size creature in CNC? 17. Okay, actually, weapons, equipment, weapons, page 67. Let's see here. It's not my inventory list. Crap. I'll have to look later. I'm trying to paint. But go with 15. Trying to paint. Trying to paint here. I don't remember these things off the top of my head. That's why we have tables.
I do believe you've been had. That is a trick question.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said.
That's some good stuff right there.
Alright, we getting ready to start this raffle?
Yeah, whenever you like.
Let's go ahead and get it over with. Because I know a lot of people want to leave.
Well, that's supposed to spam this. Oh, I have to do question mark.
I mean, is it?
There, okay. Want to play some games with Steve? Alright, here we go. There we go.
Okay, if I win, we'll redraw the raffle.
Well,
okay.
Chuck's even in on that one.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm staying in. I'm staying in. If Chuck's in, I'm staying in. And for you people that don't win, you can play in my game, which will be better than Steven's.
Oh, it's a bold statement. So, it's quite the storyteller from what I've been told.
Your mom's quite the storyteller.
Well, maybe.
This is what she told me. Let's see here. Oh, that's Steve. It's Steve.
Steven is going to draw his name. Good. I like that. That's good.
Well, Steve, you won't let me teach you how to use a ham radio, so I guess I've got to make some comments like that.
Let me get you a shovel. You can dig yourself out of this hole.
I know. I love Steve, man. I love him to death. I will tell you, I drank my first Dr. Pepper in a year the other day, and I was thinking about Steve. But the problem is, though, I have to drink them flat because of my stomach, so it tasted horrible. It was horrible. 99% of the flavor of a soda comes from the carbonation. Let's see here. This guy's going to look goofy. He's got the muscles everywhere. It's time for the hands. This is where you pay a lot of attention is to the hands here. And the reason being is the hands, because they're so high up, normally you would pay attention to the head and the shoulders on a model. because that's what draws everybody's eyes first. Because his hands are up and forward, you're going to be drawn to his hands. You're more going to be drawn to what's in his hands because of the way it's positioned like this. Um, and that's why I'm going to spend a lot of time actually on these weapons up here because that's just what you're going to be looking at and drawn to. So, let's see how many people are in here for the raffle. Oh, I might actually win this one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 entries, I think, already.
All right, we need to hit the Discord up though. Oh, there's Trolls Maiden. Yes, Trolls Maiden. There is a raffle, but you can stay to watch me paint models. I'm raffling away for the chance of you to join my Patreon. Not for free though. It's gonna be a little brighter than normal.
Step right up. $3 a month. Extra, read all about it. Get to Discord access. You can hang out with cool folks like us on Wednesdays and Friday evenings.
Now here's the last color. Yeah, last color coming up. Is that really Steve in there or not? Chuck?
Well, there's no telling.
It's probably Chuck. So we're not gonna put any of this really light colors on some of these muscles because there's no points. What we're looking for right now is points that we could put these colors on. Like right here, I would put this color here. So it's on this edge of this muscle right here. I'm just gonna take it and pull it down just a little bit right here and right here as well. A little bit right here. Maybe a dot right there and a little bit right here. This guy's gonna get just a point on his nose right here. Bit right here. Bit right here. I want some popcorn. See? It's getting close. What time is it?
About almost 9:30.
See? See?
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah. See, it's, if y'all know, I get hungry about 9:30. I'm gonna go upstairs and make some popcorn. Popcorn's my snack, though. See, okay, if this is Steve, tell us it was you in the AMA tomorrow. If not, we know it's Chuck screwing with us.
Oh, Ultra Magnus. Got a season.
Why? Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous, man. Wait, now, Ultra Magnus is George, right?
Yeah.
George H is all I'm going to say. For the last name.
Oh, hell, I don't know. I don't even know my own last name sometimes.
I'm upset. I'm jealous, man. That's alright. You know, if it was a coupon... No, I'm talking about a coupon like Drew won to get a free book, which he's not used yet.
He needs to get on that.
Oh, okay, it's George. All right. Well, thanks for sharing my links out all the time, man.
Mm-hmm.
Share that Patreon.
He's got to get that codex.
You know, the book though, Steve, that I want is the I want the Monsters and Treasures in the binder.
there's a binder of that?
Yeah, man, like the old school second edition stuff.
Huh.
You remember the Monsters Compendium? I'm not on screen. Great, Daniel. Thought you had that worked out, bud. But yeah, so like, there's a binder, but it's like $50. Heck, I just want the binder. I'd use it at school because it's so cool.
Well, there you go. Until I get some ham radio lessons, you ain't getting shit, he says.
Hey, listen. I have said, all you got to do is get with me. I will teach you how to use a dang ham radio. And that's not Steve. That's Chuck. That has to be Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the cussing. I don't know. Listen, I will message Chuck. We will set this up. I will teach you how to use a ham radio so you can pass that stupid test. Listen, guys. KM4DCL right here. Ham radio enthusiast.
What are you gonna take a ham radio test for?
You got to use a ham radio. You got to be able to take a test.
Oh. Why? It's public frequency.
No, that's CB, man. Ham radio, you have to be licensed.
Oh, I guess because you got your own letters and numbers.
Yeah. So here's what we'll do. So what we'll do is as I paint the next few sessions, Steve, you can stay on here and watch. I know you're not listening now, but I will teach you all as I paint how to pass the test. How's that sound? Might get in trouble. I mean, really and truly, there is only two things that you need to know to pass the ham radio test. Number one thing is understanding Ohm's law. You got to be able to understand Ohm's law to pass the test, and you also have to understand the law behind ham radio. Majority of the questions are going to be questions about the law. Not a lot of too much of the high-end electronic stuff. For the technician level, you can take the general level has more of the high-end electronic stuff, but the technician level, just to start using the radios, is just knowing the law and understanding sections or the Ohm's law. And so, like, what I mean, pretty much stuff like this. Can't broadcast music, can't cuss.
Apparently, you also cannot send encrypted transmissions.
True. You cannot do that either. You can send, though, images through ham radio. Now, to get one picture with the right equipment takes about an hour, but you can do it. And I know guys that do that. You don't have to know Morse code anymore, which is a good thing for a lot of people. They don't require you to do that. Yeah, we'll get it set up. Somebody's wife was wanting to learn too. I can't remember who it was. Anyway, I'm jealous, man. George, you want to be playing?
He just sent me a picture of his binder. It looks nice.
Yeah, I know. I'll get a binder soon or later. Man, I'm about ready to tell Drew if he ain't gonna use that coupon, he has to give it to me. Keep telling Chuck we're gonna have to take a drive down to Arkansas to see the guys. Mainly, really, what it is to do a video shoot But we gotta go in there and do a video shoot them making a book or something. I mean, you can't see what I'm doing. Like them because they do the softbacks there. But watching them make a book or do some stuff or do an AMA in person.
Oh, that'd be neat.
Yeah. And me get in there and set his computer up and his microphone so it sounds better. And for me to dig around the warehouse and see what I could find.
Oh no, that'd be quite the adventure.
I know. Of course, I wouldn't find anything. There's nothing there. I hope this turns out. I've been listening to Dune while I paint lately.
Listen to who?
Dune. It's one of my favorite books, so I decided to listen to it on audiobook. And while I painted, getting ready for the movie. Yeah, I like seeing how stuff's made. So, to me, that's pretty cool. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I've got this abomination gore. It's a color of red. It's mostly a pink. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this like that, a little bit, and then I'm going to get all the faces that have their mouths open. Okay, and then I'm just going to do the inside of the mouth in this. So it's really a nice color when it comes to, say, a tongue. So, get the inside of the cheeks here. See what I'm doing there? In the mouth. And then let's find the other guys with their mouths open. Like, say, this guy here. Now, since his mouth is black mostly, the color is going to be a little bit darker, which is fine. And not all these are laid out the same, which is cool because just like people, orcs have different variations of chloroform in their blood or skin, so therefore they have different shades of greens and reds and things like that. Yes, I do believe wholeheartedly that a orc is plant life. It's my opinion. I'm sticking to it because we already know they're unredeemable. You don't think I upset Steve, do you?
I guess find out tomorrow at the AMA.
Oh, shut up.
Or Tricks of the Trade tomorrow. Actually.
Oh, yeah, it's Tricks of the Trade tomorrow. Yeah. I usually get on there and say something stupid and then log off. Because the issue is my wife gets home by then and I've got to have dinner ready. What just happened? Oh, sorry. My internet froze up on my stuff. Okay, now with that drying, we're going to come in here and start washing this flesh. So we're going to start with this guy here. So actually, I kind of want that mouth to dry a little bit. Let's give it a second. Red tone, don't want that. I want the crimson. Okay. So we're going to use a bit of this crap. I got a bit out, so it's going everywhere. We're going to use this brush here. Now this is cool because I can just slop it on over this black because, I'm still going to have to go in and fix up this black anyway. And we'll probably have to put maybe 2 coats of this on here, which is still fair. Fair to middling. But, I mean, it's essentially just a wash. But we're putting red straight up over this flesh to tone it down. Oh, I stuck it back in. That paintbrush tasted funny. Ugh. I don't like to taste that one. Ugh. Left a bad taste in my mouth. Nah, man, ham radio's fun. There's not a lot of people on it around here anymore, so just a bunch of old guys, and they get mad at you for getting on and interrupting their conversations. They sit on it during lunchtime or breakfast.
Yeah, my dad is into that. He's got a huge antenna on his shed. He's he he got a custom license plate that matches his station number.
Well,
And I'm like, Dad, you were so old.
so here's the thing, though. I got it for mainly emergencies and stuff. Um, but like, just that, and it's cool, understanding how that stuff works. What is your game about for CNC? Actually, Ultra Magnus, I'm going to be going through, starting with the A series modules and work my way through those, and then switch over to other modules as well. I'm trying to introduce some new people to Castles and Crusades, so and trying to get some veterans in there as well, so they can help along for these newer people to understand it. I've got it open up. I posted about it in the Discord, but I've also got it opened up in our ministry page that we have. Um, Trying to get more people. We're going to be doing, because we figured everybody's going to be still locked down for Corona uh, for a while, so there's not going to be a lot of gaming in stores and stuff. So we're trying to get as many people as we can to start gaming online and not just sticking to Fifth Edition and Pathfinder. Where I mean, Pathfinder's fine. I'm just, and I don't mean anything bad about Fifth Edition. It's just like that's what everybody plays, and I just want to introduce people to smaller companies that have a good system as well. And so, like, I play a lot of Dungeon Crawl Classics, Castles of Crusades. We've got a guy running Call of Cthulhu. Uh, and I think we've got a Traveler game too.
I've got a traveler game.
Yeah, I know. I heard somebody won't shut up about it.
Now accepting crew members Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Are you using anything from the Starship Warden?
No, this is all actual Mongoose stuff. And they actually put out a new source book last
Just
week.
for you?
I just picked up.
Yeah, just for you.
Just for me. We looked at the release. They've got a really aggressive release schedule up through the end of the year. Like, there's a lot of content on the way, and it's awesome.
That's good. I'm glad you're happy with that.
Yes, absolutely. I wish I could find more people.
I do have a guy running Starfinder too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I like the way Starfinder looks. Chuck says it's kind of flat.
I played a little bit, and it was. I don't know how to describe it. Like a Pathfinder light, I guess. I don't know, man.
Which is fine because Pathfinder itself is a little bit chonky.
Yeah, like I enjoyed it for what it was worth. Uh, I did. I really did. I just couldn't continue with the campaign, but from when I was there, it was not bad.
All right, first coat. So y'all see what we're doing with the wash? We're staining this down. I used to have Ultra Magnus. I had a G1 Ultra Magnus that had the white Optimus Prime in it. Oh man, I wish I never got rid of that.
Is that what that is? A Transformers reference?
Yeah,
I can't.
I traded it.
Them.
I traded it for some Eldar.
I had a Trashformers, a Transformers trash can from when I was a kid, and I traded it to one of my buddies because he let me borrow one of his nice hats, and I ruined it.
Well,
So, like a gentleman, I offered him something equally precious.
Oh man. No, Ultra Magnus, if you know anything about Transformers, was the statistician, pretty much. He wasn't going to be in charge. He wasn't a prime. Anyway. But you need to watch Transformers new TV show on dang Netflix. It is so awesome. Yeah, I mean, I had it, the G1 of it, but like, being a big dummy in high school, I was like, man, I really want some Eldar, and this guy's like, I got some Eldar. I'm like, okay. Oh, actually, no. Was it the Eldar or the Wood Elves? It was the Wood Elves. I traded it for a Blood Bowl team. I was like, nobody's gonna like Transformers because I'm an adult. I wasn't an adult. I was 16.
120 bucks for. Oh man.
What?
I bet if it was in that, it ain't worked out. It was not pristine. Let me tell you, that was.
What, your trash
That
can?
was my desk trash can. So it was full of trash and cigarette butts when I smoked, and
Kleenexes.
dented and beat up. It's probably worth about $1 right now.
Okay. Yeah, Eldar. Wait. George, do you know what Eldar are? He knows. Space elves.
Your 15-minute warning, buddy.
Alright. So this is the first coat. See how it looks? Here's the first coat of the red on these guys.
It's a pretty nice face, though. I like that.
So it'll stain it down, tone down the highlights and stuff. I'll have to do another coat afterwards. So, okay, so Eldar. All right, so let's talk about this for a minute. So, you hear a lot of things get bandied about here between me and Bake here. Eldar is one of the terms that gets bandied around. Eldar are from Warhammer 40,000. So I'm gonna tell you.
By the way, nobody says 40,000.
40K, okay, 40K. All right.
Get with it.
So let's talk about 40K for a minute because I'm letting this stuff dry, so there ain't nothing else to do. All right, so Eldar are space elves. Okay, they are a army type in Warhammer 40K. Originally, there was, I guess, 3 army types. Started out humans. You had your humans, which is Space Marines, your Eldar, which are elves, orcs being orcs. Orcs are a created race. They were created by the Eldar. And so and they the storyline led that they were created by the Eldar. So 40K. Okay, you don't even know 40K. Okay, it's a war game, like tabletop war game, armies against armies. These are from Age of Sigmar. These models that I'm painting right now, and it can be used in fantasy and stuff. And They're Age of Sigmar is the fantasy version of 40,000. So, but at one time, the Eldar, the fantasy version of Eldar were called the Elves. The whole premise behind it was everybody existed on the same planet together at one time, and then they shut off into different worlds. And you had your humans. They had the Imperium of Man. They kept Earth as long as they could, and went to Mars and all that other stuff. And the Eldar went off and created their hive worlds, and the Orcs were out running rampage and all this other stuff. And then they found chaos, and then on top of chaos, corrupting all the Marines. Then you had what is it? The bugs. What's the name of the bugs? I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
The
Tyranids. So they're bugs, and then after a while, then you had your what else we got? We got Necrons, which are Egyptian based now, and then they're robots that are Egyptian based, and then we've got I want to call them Protoss so bad. I can't remember. I was thinking the blue guys.
The Tau?
Yeah, Tau. I want to call them the Protoss. Because I got some over here. I couldn't remember. A kill team for them I've got to put together. Let's see here. Dwarves on motorcycles throwing crazy implosion grenades. Well, you know what? They've got dwarves too. Dwarves didn't really make it too well into 40k until here recently. They've got a 40k. They got these huge flying ships, I think. But dwarves are in the Age of Sigmar, which used to be called Fantasy, and they got undead as well. So, yeah. But yeah, that's it.
My Sigmar army's a bunch of skeletons. Yep.
So what a lot of people don't realize though is you have Games Workshop started out as a company that resold Dungeons and Dragons products in the UK and created their own modules and stuff. And so they created the game because they were creating models. Oh my gosh, they were creating models left and right. And they didn't have. I mean, they started creating sci-fi models. They started creating fantasy models. They didn't have a game though of their own, and people were buying their models and using them for D&D and things like that. And sci-fi games. And then finally, somebody said, "Hey, you need to make a game of your own," and that's where we got 40k from. And at the time, it was called crap. I can't even think tonight. It's so late. In my head. What is that game called?
I honestly don't know.
Anyway, so but yeah, so that's pretty much the net evolved into 40,000. So, it's what we play. It's a big dorky thing and stuff. So it's getting late. I'm yawning like crazy. Let's see here. Let's see what this guy's looking like now. He's got a pretty good red tint to him. I just want to let all this dry because if you don't, you'll mess up places that haven't dried if you put more on. So you have to wait for it to completely dry.
Rogue Trader.
Yeah, Rogue Trader. That was it. That's what I was trying to think of. I kept wanting to say like Merchant Marines, but it wasn't. But yeah. So I mean, it's a fun game. It's like what 9th edition now.
Yeah, just came out, and we've got some new codices on the way too.
Yeah, shut up. It's a money racket.
Yeah.
It really is. If you want to play,
I mean, I'm gonna get, 2 wounds for my chaos, so I'm definitely gonna buy it. It's worth it.
Well, yeah, and then they're gonna realize they messed something up, and then they're gonna re-release it again, and you're gonna have to buy new books. See, it's and the cost of the model isn't even based on the cost of the production of the model and how much it takes to make it. It's based on how many points it's worth in the game. It's dumb. That bothers me. That's the only thing that really bothers me is like I can get a model this big, like a Eldar Farseer. It's this big, single model, $25. Which I can get 5 of their standard Eldar soldiers. I can't remember what they're called. See, this my brain's shutting down. Can't remember what they're called. For $10. And it's all based upon points value and the fact that he's a headquarter and all this other stuff, and it's just ridiculous. I mean,
It'll be okay, I promise.
I know. Oh, anyway, let's see what time it is. We got 8 minutes, folks. This ain't gonna dry. Nobody's asking me any questions about Castles and Crusades that I can answer wrongly. But we did get the new Fantasy Grounds newsletter. Let's see here. Let's see what's on sale. I don't know who puts these in for sale. So who are these people? D&D Adventures League Q&A gameplay live stream. I don't know. Okay, let's see here. We've got not Castles and Crusades for sale. Not Castles and Crusades. Okay. 5e compatible. 5e compatible. Okay. Okay, that's on sale. Sorry, I'm not naming out stuff that I don't think they want me to name out. Yep, nothing. Well, the Player's Handbook for 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons is on sale. So, but yeah. I think I'm going to cut it out here tonight, guys. I'm going to go fix some popcorn, watch some West Wing with my wife, because that's what she's addicted to right now. And hope y'all have a great night. And if you have any questions, I am Big and Whistle in the Discord. You can talk to me there. Remember, I've got a Patreon that you can get into my Twitch, or not Twitch, but my Discord server and talk to me while we do this. And anyway, have a great day and a great evening and paint more minis. I stole that from somebody.
Thanks everybody for coming.
Okay, let's close the stream.